So the government released this publication I found, and it's about environmental weeds in Victoria. And what it's done is it's classified all of them, and it's looked at its impact on natural ecosystems, area of potential distribution, potential for invasion, rate of dispersal, range of susceptible habitat types, and then give it a risk rating score, and then eventually a risk rating. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to look at all the plants that I've planted on my property in the last 12 months, which are not natives, and look at their risk rating score. So first we have the humble jade plant, Crassula ovata from South Africa. Now we've all seen a million of these. These are the easiest things to propagate. You just literally snap a bit off, stick it in the ground. But moderately high in its risk rating. So what am I going to do? Next we've got tree Aeonium. These are from the Canary Islands, or Aeonium arboreum. So these are absolutely stunning. So again, you just snap these off and put them in the ground. They're a succulent, they're so easy. Moderate rating, you see them everywhere. As we round here, we come to pig's ear, or Cotyledon orbiculata variation, oblogna. That is an absolute tongue twister. Again, these things are beautiful. They make really nice flowers too, but very high risk rating, just because of how much they can spread. Next is the Pincushion Hakea. This is from WA, Hakea laurina. So this is the only one on the list that's actually I didn't plant this actually, so I'm already lying to you. But anyway, what's its risk rating? Moderately high. And that's because it smothers other bushes and can take them over. Agapanthus praecox. These are beautiful. You basically can't kill them. You know, they are the most drought-tolerant plant that keeps such a vibrant green. But their risk rating, unfortunately, is actually the highest on the list, very high, and also listed by the local council as a plant that you should be removing now. That's how bad this one is. Next on the list is Gazania linearis. These are also from South Africa. You'll notice that almost all of these things are from South Africa because the climates are so similar. So the risk rating for this one is very high, and that's because they spread really quickly. There's a lot of spread into agricultural land. Next, there's three here, the Hottentot fig, angled pig face, and Chilean pig face. Now, I'm going to do a separate video about these Carpobrotus, because it's actually really hard to distinguish between the non-native and the native. So this one's got a high rating, and I'm going to need to break this down because I actually don't know if I've got a native, non-native, or hybrid. We come up to pig's ears. This is another type of Cotyledon, orbiculata, variation orbiculata. Again, a stunning plant with stunning flowers, but unfortunately a risk rating of high. Again, just because they're everywhere and they spread so easily. So I don't know, what am I going to do? Am I going to have to pull them all out of the garden? I think eventually yes. Now, the succulent cactus garden here, I'm not going to rate them, there's too many. But the silver birch, Betula pendula. Now, guess who wanted this? Swedish misses. Why? Because these ones are actually from Europe. So I got one of these in a root bag and planted it. And its rating is actually high. I don't know why, actually. I think it's because it's quite common. And I don't know if it spreads that well, but I'll do another story on this one and how I'm trying to save it later. Kikuyu, Cenchrus, clandestinus. I absolutely hate it. I hate all these types of grass, and yes, I want to get rid of, not surprisingly, high risk rating. Why? Because this stuff spreads everywhere. Now, Chinese Wisteria sinensis, an absolutely beautiful plant and a climber that I'm going to be putting up all over my balcony. Surprisingly not listed. Now, the reason that I put them in these pots, again, I'm going to go into a different video, was because they have such an aggressive root system, so I'm surprised. Now, topped lavender, Lavandula stoicus. This could also be French lavender. I'm not too sure. Again, beautiful flower, real bee plant, easy to propagate, but a high rating because I guess they spread very easy and there's just so much of it. The next one is foxtail agave. Now, you see these everywhere, so I'm really expecting this to have a high risk rating, the agave attenuate. And yeah, these, again, I just found these on the side of the road, put them in. Surprisingly, not listed. Agave is not listed on the Victorian list of registered weeds. The next one is the pretty winter jasmine polyanthus. So these I'm adopting. I've planted two of them next to some windows with some bars because I want them to climb over the bars. It's a place where we sit, but a high risk rating. That's just because they climb, they smother things, they go everywhere. Now, I don't want to be too preachy or anything, but it's impossible to see. But in the middle of this photo, there's a koala, and that's in my backyard. And I think in the end, what I'm going to do is I'm going to progressively replace these with something that's native and preference locally indigenous species. And the reason I'm going to do it is because the koala only eats the manna gum. In this area, it only eats one gum. And I get these in my yard. And the reality is, I won't get them unless I plant their fruit source. So this is one of the two that I've planted, and I probably can't fit any more on my property, but that's what it's for. And secondly, this little fella here, I've seen two of these on my property too, and it also reminds you that it's not just the big things, the big easy things. We also need to worry about understory flowers, native flowers, and the whole ecosystem really in totality.